You get to do your sport. You don't have to. What does that really mean? Because if you're an athlete like I was for a really, really long time, you have heard that phrase dozens and dozens of times. And I'm sure you sit there and you're like, how is this supposed to help me? How do I just, tell myself, oh, I get to do this. I get to do these hard things. Because in the moment, it's really, really hard to come to terms with, right? So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is becoming grateful and staying grateful in those really, really hard moments. Now, the first thing I wholeheartedly believe is that it starts with journaling. You have to sit down and write down all of the things that you're grateful for. And you have to write them down. You can't just think about them. You got to write them down because they have to become real. You have to acknowledge them and make them real for your life. The next thing is you use those positive thoughts to replace the negative ones. If you're in your head thinking, man, I'm so frustrated with my roommate, or man, I had a bad practice today, or so-and-so coach is driving me nuts, start thinking about all of the things that you do like about your life right now. Man, I had a great cup of coffee this morning. Or, oh, I got a good night's sleep last night. Or, oh, I had a good class today. I was really productive in school. Whatever it may be, putting your eyes on the positive things will inevitably make the negative things smaller. The next step is finding points of joy in really, really hard moments. This is something that I always tried to do as an athlete. I struggled and struggled and struggled with our long aerobic practices. I would always find myself struggling to stay grateful in those moments because those practices were so hard. And so what I did is I made it a game. I would always pick something to focus on, whether it be my turns or my underwaters or my breathing patterns, or, maybe I'm racing the person next to me, right? I would always find a way to make it a game so that I could enjoy myself. You have to be able to find joy in the hard moments. And there is always something to be joyful about or to be grateful about in the hard moments. Lastly, take time to remove yourself from your situation. Remove yourself from being bogged down by all those negative emotions and think back to 10-year-old you, think back to 8-year-old you, and think back to all the other people that you've met on your journey. There are a million people who would love to be in your shoes, to be an athlete, to have functioning limbs, to be able to be talented and to do a sport at a high level. So never, ever, ever forget that there's always somebody that is looking at you and wanting to be you. There's always something to be grateful for, especially in those hard moments. Believe me, I know how hard it is to remember that sometimes. One day you're going to look back and realize you were living a life that you dreamed for and then you prayed for and you missed it because you were so bogged down in the hard aspects of your life. Don't be that person. Take advantage and be grateful for what you have today, because being grateful will open up a new door of possibilities for what is possible in your life.